Soda with poop, rubber bread, and cockroach drinks. These are the 10 scariest things found in fast food, Part 4. Number 10. Eggs or not? It's weird that fast food have always found a way to replace even the most basic foods with harmful chemicals. Recently, the breakfast options of a couple of restaurants that have eggs in them were studied, and the results were worrying. It turns out some restaurants only use about 30% egg in their egg meals. Want to know what the 70% is? Just pure preservatives that could harm a person's body. Number 9. KFC fryer rat. There's a reason why most countries have very strict rules about how restaurants should prepare their meals. There are dressing rules that make it compulsory for chefs and staff to wear hairnets or bonnets when cooking. Of course, some of the important rules have to do with the utensils used to cook the meals. Nobody wants disgusting goo and rotting food on the pots and pans, or even anywhere near the spoons you use. That's why surprise inspections are always a scary but necessary thing. You won't believe what was found in this KFC restaurant. According to someone who used to work there, they found a dead rat at the bottom of one of the deep fryers. Guess what? It had been there for months. Imagine all the food they had fried with rat-flavored oil. Excuse me, I'm gonna go barf a little bit. Of course, they did close the restaurant, but the damage had already been done. Number 8. McCafe disaster. Fast food can be quite addictive, and since McDonald's has been around for a while, it's our go-to for our favorite meals. From delicious cheeseburgers, salty fries to lip-smacking chicken sandwiches, and pancakes for breakfast, there's so much to choose from. It makes you want to keep going back for more. They even have delicious smoothies and shakes. Just talking about it makes me hungry. Sadly, there have been a lot of stories about scary things found in McDonald's meals, and as expected, the drinks have also been affected. A McDonald's employee once said that McCafe drinks are some of the most dangerous things you could ever put in your body. Want to know why? This worker once put his hand into a drink machine and came out with a handful of black soot. There's probably some type of mold growing in there. Ugh. Think of all the drinks that got a little bit of this soot in them. You could get really sick from all that deadly chemicals. I think I'll stick to water from now on. Number 7. Ice machine. On a hot day, all you probably want is a cold drink to soothe your parched tongue. Sometimes it isn't even a particularly hot day, but a cold drink still manages to hit the right spot. It could be after eating something really salty or spicy. Cold drinks are a gift either way, don't you think? Cold drinks get cold because they've been in the refrigerator, but there's also an interesting way to do this, using ice. However, there's a simple problem with ice and how it's made. Ice machines have become something to worry about because they're so rarely cleaned out, and you can find all sorts of scary things in them. Bugs and poop of small animals can easily make their way into the ice and eventually get into your drink. The sad part is that most employers, according to former Starbucks employee, don't really care about getting machines cleaned. I think warm drinks are probably the best choice here. Number 6. Wendy's chili nightmare. On cold days, nothing is more perfect than a hot meal. It could be a cup of hot cocoa or even a plate of Chinese food. Well, the most popular choice for most is a warm bowl of chili. And naturally, there are tons of fast food ready to sell you a bowl. When it comes to this comfort food, Wendy's has a huge reputation for having one of the best around the world. Everything seems perfect until you discover how this meal's made. It can make you want to scream. The recipe is perfect, but a past employee says the chili is made from dried up leftover hamburger meat. It sits in a bag of its own grease in the freezer for so long until it's pulled out and boiled. Gross? Well, it doesn't end there. The meat is then mixed with giant cans of beans and tomatoes that smell like vomit and made to boil for hours. The toxins in that could really harm you, so I think I'll just stick with eating my vegetables. Number 5. Taco Bell meat trouble. Taco Bell is the home of delicious tacos. It's right there in the name. They seem to have a good idea of what makes a delicious taco, and we're satisfied for now. I mean, have you seen the craze around Taco Bells around the world? While it is delicious, almost perfect, something might be wrong somewhere. A past employee of the fast food said that the meat used to make the tacos and other meals is pretty terrible. The meat smell is really bad until they cook it with seasoning. Raw meat isn't the most pleasant thing to smell, but it shouldn't be enough to make you vomit either. This employee even said that they sometimes use expired meat. That could definitely get you sick because of all the germs right inside. Number 4. Sickly sweetness. Have you ever noticed that your favorite soda from a fast food tastes much better than the one at a grocery store? Many people have questioned this for years, but it has constantly been swept under the carpet. Some fast food brands have said that it could probably be because of the regulated temperatures in fast foods. But do they really think we believe that? Recent findings have, however, shown that some fast foods mix up in your cup of cola with a much higher level of thick syrup. They had something called high fructose corn syrup and put it in the drinks. Despite being really sweet, this can mess up your belly really bad. Taking in too much sugar can cause diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and liver failure. These highly sugary drinks can actually drain your energy, even though it makes you feel so pumped at first. In fact, there are traces of mercury in it. That's poison. Number 3, Starbucks infestations. Everybody loves a nice cup of coffee. It's a great way to start your day, and it helps you push through the stress. Starbucks makes coffee so delicious that you want to get it every day. What if I told you that your favorite cup of coffee could have some unwanted ingredient? An upset Starbucks employee took to the internet to tell of a disgusting visitor their Starbucks branch often had. Can you guess what it was? If you guessed cockroaches, yeah, you're right. This employee said they are everywhere. They could get into the powders, around the cups, and worse, even into the spout where the coffee pours from. That's so gross. Woo! I wonder how many people have accidentally gulped a cockroach leg or wing with their morning coffee. Too much coffee isn't good for you anyway, so cutting back on it to avoid a roach in your throat might be a good idea. Number 2, bread dread. Subway likes to pride itself on the fact that it supposedly has healthier options than other fast foods, including McDonald's or Burger King. Its ingredients might be fresher and a little healthier, but the company definitely has had a lot of fingers pointed at their meals for containing a whole lot of weird stuff. They offer you a lot of choices with your sandwich fillings, but Subway, your calories aren't the only thing you should worry about. Scientists carried out research on different samples of Subway bread and found something truly horrifying. A chemical called azodicarbonamide was found in almost all of their breadsticks. That's a huge name, right? It sounds pretty cool if you like science, but you should know it's quite harmful. It's a bleaching agent that is used to condition bread dough. A lot of people, including the FDA, agreed that it isn't terrible in small amounts, but when this little amount turns into something big, it's usually not a good story. This chemical is also found in yoga mats and rubber shoes, and nobody wants to bite out of those. Talk about deadly. Number 1, fecal soda. There's been a lot of talk about soda in the last few years, and we all pretty much agree that it's best to consume reasonably. But away from that, there's a lot of things we don't know about what gets into it. Fast foods take their name a little too literally and don't take the time they need to clean up their hands or the machines. How else would you explain finding traces of poop in soda samples from different restaurants? That's right, scientists took 10 samples each from KFC, Burger King, and McDonald's to test for harmful stuff. The results were not only shocking, they were downright disturbing. 4 samples from Burger King and 5 samples from KFC had very high levels of turd bacteria that made scientists lose their minds. Maybe the people who serve the drinks aren't washing their hands after they use the bathroom. That isn't just disgusting, they could also get someone killed. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon.